What's good? I've been meaning to bring this unit back into the limelight for quite some time, and the timing's actually perfect because now we have the Vegeta's family category as well as the EZAs for the Tech Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and the Physical Raised Trunks, which are very good units now. So again, the timing's right, and for those that have been playing for a while, you guys probably remember this unit. I'm referring to the Extreme Agility Super Strike Vegeta unit. And I gotta be honest, it's been a while since I actually used this unit. And you know, back in the day, it's probably more or less when this unit was more prominent in terms of, you know, practicality and functionality, whatever the case is. So I wanted to test this unit out on the new categories with the new team builds, and I gotta say, I was really surprised at this unit's output still to this day. And we'll just go ahead and cover the stats, and then we'll talk about all that stuff here in a second. So again, this is the Super Strike Vegeta unit. Leader skill is agility and tech types plus 3 ki. Super attack causes huge damage to enemies. So remember, when you're watching the video, this super attack only causes huge damage. That is quite a handicap to have in today's age of Dokkan battle. For the passive skills, attack increase of 40% when ki is 6 or above. And then for the links, which aren't necessarily bad, Saiyan Warrior Race is 700 to attack. Royal Lineage is plus 1 ki. Prodigies is 10% to attack. Bombardment is 15% increase to attack. Saiyan Pride, another 15% to attack. And Super Strike is 20% increase to attack. I thought about bringing in some other Super Strike units that fell into Vegeta's family category, but there are enough supporting type units that provide enough of a attack boost from their super attacks and passives where I decided not to leave them in there. In terms of categories, you have Pure Saiyans, Dragon Ball Seekers, and Vegeta's family. Again, this showcase is strictly on the Vegeta's family category. At 100% potential, you're looking at HP of 10,329, attack of 9,990, and then defense is 7,091, 12 Ki Multipliers, 130%. So again, remember, this is the Super Strike unit that originally starts out with an SR status, and then the max level is 100, even with the you know, Dokkan Awaken. So it's certainly an outdated unit, but as you can see, this unit is producing quite a bit of damage even today. Now, I will say this: yes, there are a lot of supporting units like the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and Raised Trunks units that do provide a lot of boost from both the super attack and passive, but you have to remember at the same time, this base Vegeta unit only causes huge damage as part of his super attack. So I think it's more than fair to say that, you know, bringing in support units is okay in this regard because of how much of a handicap this unit actually has right now. So, you know, bottom line is the fact that he's able to hit, you know, upwards of 700,000 plus with the criticals, you know, type advantage or neutral type setting, you know, that is actually pretty impressive considering how old this unit is. Now, if you're facing type disadvantage type enemies, of course it's going to be a lot less, but at the same time, I'm still impressed how good this unit is actually doing considering, you know, the circumstances, you know, of again, how old this unit actually is. And one of the reasons why I wanted to do a showcase of this unit with some updated categories and team builds is because the card art design itself, I really love both the this version as well as the other base version. I mean, it's a very iconic scene, you know, especially the card art for the version before this, Awakening. But you know, it's definitely one of the nicer ones in the game, and you know, a lot of things I gotta admit, a lot of the decisions I make in terms of randomly maxing out units is based on card art too. Again, you know, I do tend to rainbow units based on, you know, functionality and how useful they are, but at the same time, especially if I get bored, I tend to rainbow units specifically just because of how nice they look as a card art itself. So a lot of decisions behind that, but I think for this unit, it's actually, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use this unit a lot, quite frankly, but I think is good enough to where it's somewhat worthwhile. Maybe newer type players that are lacking in decks within certain categories, this might help out a little bit. Again, the links aren't terrible. You can certainly build pretty good teams with this unit included. I mean, Saiyan Warrior Race, Royal Lineage, Prodigies, and Saiyan Pride are all pretty, I wouldn't say common, but they're like around enough to where a lot of units do tend to have at least one of those link skills. So Saiyan Pride is definitely a good one to have. I mean, that's 15% to attack right there, and then you're looking at Prodigies, another 10%. So, at the very least, you should be able to find units that provide at least a 25% boost to attack just from the link skills alone. And then, Saiyan Warrior Race is another flat 700. I think besides that, Royal Lineage is probably another one. It's good to have that link skill just because it's a +1 key link, and the more key you have, the better anyway. So it makes things a little bit easier. So, I mean, overall, yeah, I'm bringing in a lot of support units, but at the same time, because of the unit only having the, damage capacity of huge damage, I think it more than offsets, the showcase itself. So, again, I really wanted to bring this unit back into the limelight. It's probably been a long time for a lot of you guys seeing this unit in action, so hopefully you guys are enjoying the video. A little bit of a trip down memory lane, so to speak. I mean, you guys remember, especially those that have been around for a little while, that this unit was actually useful back in the day on a pretty heavy basis, and I certainly used them here and there quite a bit. Back when Super Strike units were actually needed to beat events, and you had the team cost limitations and all that stuff. So they did get rid of that quite some time ago, but back then things were pretty difficult. Clearing story events and even Dokkan events. I mean, you had to really use like a nuking team to beat certain Dokkan events. Stuff like that. So things have definitely changed quite a bit, but it's only for the better. Yeah, I mean, things are definitely easier than they used to be, but at the same time, you don't want the game to be like overly difficult where you're just having headaches throughout. So, the overall changes that have occurred in the game, it's only improved the overall gameplay. So, I have no bad things to really say about it. But back to the Vegeta unit, I mean, it's certainly very surprising to me that the levels of output that this unit's able to produce. Now, I have to reiterate that, yeah, there are a lot of supporting units. I mean, the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta and the Trunks unit are massive supporting allies to have on a team. Not just from a passive skill standpoint, but also the super attack ability, and the links are quite good too. So, yeah, Vegeta is definitely getting a lot of help. At the same time, considering how old this unit is, I think this unit's doing quite well given the circumstances. So that's really my take on that. And as much as, yeah, there are a lot of support units helping him, I think it's still okay to consider and pretty much make the assessment that, yeah, this unit's doing pretty well considering how old it is. So that's probably the biggest point I want to make in this video. And again, I know a lot of you guys haven't seen this unit in action in a damn long time, so hopefully you're enjoying the content and video just as much as I enjoyed actually going through and testing this unit. Yeah, it was definitely enjoyable. I gotta say, the huge damage to enemy from the super attack was definitely one of those things where I was on the fence about whether to actually rainbow this unit or not. But it was worthwhile overall, I think, in my opinion. Which brings me, I forgot. In terms of the potential system, I gave this guy level 11 for additional attack and level 15 for criticals. So that's probably a good way to explain it. I forgot to mention that. So it certainly does kind of affect how the gameplay is depending on how you go about the potential system. So I did go heavier on the crit side more than the additionals. Again, I don't see myself using this unit frequently. I mean, it's more or less another 100% potential unit to add to the collection, but hopefully this does help in terms of available options within the game. Essentially, it's a free-to-play unit. You just have to grind for it and go through the Super Strike event, and that's pretty much the extent of it. So, it's a pretty easily attainable unit. So, you know, I don't know what the drop rates are like for the card itself. I did this a while back, so from what I remember, it wasn't too bad. I mean, of course, there's a little bit of grinding involved in terms of, you know, getting enough copies for dupes and then SA levels, and then getting a second set to feed the rest of the SA5 levels toward the original copy to get it to SA level 15. But, you know, overall, it wasn't too bad. And, yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was worth it. For me, at the very least, it's a good unit to have in the collection as, you know, part of the rainbow units available in my deck. So that's pretty much where I stand with that. So, again, this is the Extreme Agility Super Strike Vegeta unit on the Vegeta's family with the EZA Super Saiyan Blue and Trunks units as support, as well as, you know, the Super Saiyan 2 Bardock. We'll close it out with the Dokkan mode, but as always, I do appreciate you watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and definitely stay tuned for the next one. Alright, I'll see you guys later.